from the movie. This is part of Herman Cain featured in the movie.
I had a college student ask me one time, how did you deal with color and race when you were climbing the corporate ladder? My answer, I didn't. Let them deal with it. I didn't focus on that. I didn't have time. I went to the president of the Pillsbury Company and said, I need to get involved in some other aspects of the corporation because I want to run one of the business units one day. So he said, we need a lot of leadership in Burger King. You have to go and spend 2 weeks at Whopper College. There really is a Whopper College in Miami. I graduated summa cum laude. I was working for the Department of the Navy. The same day that I started, another white gentleman named Robert started working there also. We had very similar jobs. So the first 12 months, I got outstanding performance 4 quarters in a row. Second year, outstanding performance 4 quarters in a row. And Robert got outstanding performance. But Robert was getting his GS salary increase at least 2 months sooner than me. So I went to Wayne, my supervisor, and said, Robert and I are both doing a great job. He said, yeah. So why is he getting little increases quicker than me? He said, he has a master's degree. I said, oh, it's not because he's white? Nope. He has a master's degree. So you know what I did? I didn't get mad. I went and got me a master's degree.
There are only 4 rungs to this ladder.
Went back, sat down with Wayne. I said, well, I got a master's degree. I said, the next time you have opening for a promotion, I said, keep me in mind. See you around. And not long after that, they had a special project called a rocket assisted projector. They had to have someone who was going to be the GS-13 supervisory mathematician to do the special ballistics on this rocket assisted projector. I got the promotion. And I had 8 white people working for me. It was all about performance, not the color of your skin. So since I now had that master's degree and I had proved myself, I got the job. When I decided to leave Dalburn, never forget the department head, and he called me in for an exit interview. And I never forget Russ. I think he's deceased now. He said, you know, you have taught me something. I said, what? He said, I had never worked with a black person before. You taught me don't judge somebody by the color of their skin.
The director of Uncle Tom, Justin Malone.
Hello, Larry.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
Not too bad. You spent a lot of time with him.
I did. I was listening to the scene, and I remember when you and I looked at his interview for the first time in your dining room, and how emotional we got when we looked at that in its raw form, and we knew that was going to make the movie.
He was full of energy, full of enthusiasm. You know, much of what we're going to talk about, he already said in the film, and he says he has 3 guiding lights. He believes in himself, he believes in God, he believes in the United States of America, and always felt that if you work real hard and you persevere, you can succeed in life. And he, you know, as you know, his father drove a car for the CEO of Coca-Cola. His mother was a domestic. This is a guy who lived the American dream, and I'm just hoping that as much attention is given him, accorded him for his extraordinary life, as we are giving John Lewis for his extraordinary life, because they're contemporaries. They were both about maybe 5 years apart.
I mean, the minute I met Herman Cain, the minute I walked into his office, the first thing he said to me is, "Let's hurry this up. I want to take you to lunch." And I just felt like I'd known him my whole life. I mean, he was so warm, and and the interview speaks for itself. I mean, he sat down and he opened up for us, and I just never felt nervous around him. He was very easygoing. He always took my phone calls. He became a friend and a mentor, and he was always there. And I'm very grateful that we got to spend that time with him at the premiere. And he was a very dear friend, and today's been very rough for me because he was a very good man and very inspiring person.
And then that following morning, we spent another maybe half hour or so with him in the hotel lobby, and he was talking very enthusiastically about his new television show on Newsmax.
That was a surreal moment for me because I'm sitting there in a hotel lobby having coffee with Larry Elder, and here comes Herman Cain. There was nobody in the hotel except us,
right? And
we're sitting there talking, and I remember like, wow, look what we've done. I'm sitting here with Herman Cain and Larry Elder in our movie with that, and that was the morning after the movie had come out, and we were getting all the reviews in. So you and I were elated, and
we're gonna have to leave it there, Justin. Justin, thank you so much for coming on. UncleTom.com, UncleTom.com.